Today on Mob Rules.
We talk about Dax Shep or Death Shep, whatever one is a Black Library book.
We welcome back eBay Prices Right.
We doubled down on our short stories with A Sun's Burden.
And we argue whether it's the Black Star or Dark Star.
Dark Star.
Black Star.
All
Dark
that
Star.
and not
Black
much
Star.
else on episode 31 of
Mob Rules.
Mob Rules.
It's
Fucking
Dark Star.
Phil.
It's Dark Star.
It's definitely Black Star.
It's Dark Star.
Let's just go.
Okay.
Welcome to Mob Rules, episode 31. This episode of Mob Rules brought to you by Technical Difficulties. Technical Difficulties. Putting podcasts behind schedule for forever. I, of course, am John, joined as always by Ted.
What's up, player?
How's it going, homie? And joined as always now by Philip.
Hey, the Glacial Geek.
We're going to just refer to you to as everything but the Glacial Geek. So it'll be like, usually Phil, the Glacial Geek, be Philip. The
Glacial Geisha.
The frozen water nerd. Because every time we say
Philip, the old ice nerd.
Dave. Remember Dave from... you remember, yeah, we all remember Dave.
But
for
Dave,
the listeners,
right? Yeah.
the Dave that showed up for the Lost Patrol episode, he and I were talking, like he was doing a battle report of our last Tale of the Gamers.
Yeah, he put that on our Facebook page.
We were talking about like how he should start a channel called the Arctic Nerd. So,
there's a lot of those combinations of like things in the north and nerd/geek that have already been taken.
Like, really?
Okay.
Yeah. Geeks of the Last Frontier was already taken. Northern
Did
Nerd
you look
is
that one
already
up?
taken. Yeah. And
okay.
Geeks of the Last Frontier is actually like I guess it's like a nerd group here in Anchorage.
Did it hurt
like
your
or something like that?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Did it hurt your little special snowflakes nerd pride that these awesome names that you thought of were not ones you had thought of and actually existed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
yes, all those.
hey,
Yes to all of it.
sidebar, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start a YouTube channel called Frozen Water Nerd. And we'll just repost all of Phil's videos on that channel.
Ancient frozen water.
There's already plenty of places that repost my videos. Not on YouTube.
Such
but
as
on,
our channel.
Weird.
So we're already doing that. Good.
Well, we did that once.
Oh, yeah. So today we are talking about... this is our kind of our fluff episode where we're talking about the stories behind the games. This episode, Ted chose off of a recommendation from our friend at NGC 40K, the short story "A Sun's Burden," which is a Flesh Terror's book. And then I was like, well, man, that's a short story. Let's add another one in. And I off of an email from Games Workshop with a new Flesh Terror short story, I recommended something that was literally a short story.
Shortest story I think that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I've seen ads in the New Yorker longer than it.
Seriously.
But yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit here. But Ted, what have you been up to?
So got a Tale of Gamers in. We're coming down to the wire. I think like it's pretty much Dave and I.
Did you see that White Dwarf started ripping you off again?
Are they doing a Tale of
They're
Gamers?
doing a
Ripping
Tale of
off
Gamers.
The fact that you ripped them off.
Oh,
in the first
yeah.
I
So
didn't rip anybody off.
they're
Dave was
doing an Age of Sigmar Tale of Gamers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well,
They're calling it the Tale of Four.
being a
Generals
pretty
or
popular
something.
podcast that often refers to the Tale
Oh,
of
man.
Gamers.
Sidebar.
I can see why they'd want to rip off.
Another sidebar. In the first monthly issue of White Dwarf.
Hey Ted, what are you doing? Sidebars for
Yeah, I was
Petro.
gonna say there's more sidebars
No.
now than like regular bars at this point.
I just had to point out. Okay, so
Okay, John, it's your turn. What have you been
the
up to?
first monthly issue of White Dwarf that came out had a word "fuck" in it in giant letters.
No way. Where
so
was it?
so they were doing like kind of an article about Eternal Crusade, and they had a screenshot from the game, and on the in-game chat it was like "fuck you, buddy," like right in the picture. Yeah. So
I have to say, I am liking the new Games Workshop more and more.
The more looser Games Workshop. Games Workshop After Dark.
don't you think they would love to just say that? Be like, hey man, how come chaos sucks? Well, fuck you, buddy. That's why.
Seriously, they do pretty much everything but that when people mention it.
So anyway, no more sidebars. Main bar. Ted. Gamer's Tales.
Watching you. watching him dubious. The moment I actually make a complete
turning
sentence
down
about
his microphone.
No more John. So we did our Tale of Gamers. It's the one before the last. We had like a pretty fun narrative battle where we had all these Prometheum tanks, and then there were supposed to be Chaos Cultists that were hanging out in all the Prometheum, refinery or whatever. So Dave was trying to come in and take the refinery so that he could launch his war machine, and then I was trying to go in there, stop him, and take it. So we'd set up all these cultists that were kind of like NPCs. So you roll a dice during your turn. You roll a dice on a 4-up. A unit would be activated. They would have to, if they were within, I think, 24 inches of a unit, they would have to fire at the closest unit. If they were not, then they had to move close to them. If they were within 6 inches, they had to shoot with their pistols and then assault. So it was kind of like so you had the NPC kind of thing. And they counted, if you killed more cultists than the other guy, then you got a secondary point.
Nice.
And then there were 2 refineries, and each refinery was 3 victory points. That was your primary. And then I think it was like Slay the Warlord and First Blood. I lost.
Keeping that streak alive.
I felt really good. Like, going in, I think like a lot of people were like, "Oh man, Ted, you cheeser! You got like all these extra points because you did the Death Storm box." And I lost most of my games.
Ted's first 2 weeks of purchases were just half a Death Storm box,
and then the other half of the Death Storm box.
So it was, I think like the fear was unjustified because I think like attached to that army was a Ted.
Never underestimate the power of a Ted attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ted formation.
Ted is the human equivalent of cleansing flint. No, what was it? Soul Blaze. Soul Blaze. That joke would have hit a lot better if
you had
I
actually
remembered it. Said it right. Yeah,
instead of cleansing flame, which is really good.
It is really good. Yeah.
So that was about it. We're down to the last one. I think this round is our last Tale of Gamers, and I think like I'm 1 point behind Dave. If I knock him out, then I get $100. If I don't knock him out, he gets the $100.
So
nice.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to is like, can I cheese enough to beat Dave? Because we're going on like he wins one, I win one. He wins one, I win one.
How much money do you have right now for your Tale of Gamers? No, personally.
What?
How much do you have left to spend for this week?
This one is I think it's $100 plus I'd banked $13. So 113, and then if you adjust that to what is it? Divide by 0.8, so you get like what the MSRP would be.
20%,
would be 141 is what like I could buy an MSRP. So I was thinking
you could get half of a Imperial Knight Renegade box for $70.
You would not expect that. Or just ally in some Harlequins, perhaps.
That is a pretty good formation in that box.
Is it really?
It's Eldrad and some Harlequins and Death Mask.
Or you can get the Death Watch from the Death Mask box. It's a pretty substantial force there.
But I think the important thing in the way you really cheese this is you're like, well, I only technically bought half the box. So
gosh, now if only they had a box of Centurions, like an ally.
I want you to really shittily Photoshop like Centurion versus Eldar box. I put like MSRP $10.
Yeah, it's the Death Jerk box.
I'll create like a GW sister site on like was it GeoCities?
It's gamesworkshopping.com.
I
didn't leak it to Bowls.
I have just no. You would leak it to Spiky Bits. Spiky Bits in there would be like, "What's happening in the end times of 40K?
What's this new challenger to Games Workshop? You'll never guess.
Click here.
Click here to
find out." And then you click there like, "We don't know."
Yeah, we're also not sure what.
Thanks
this
for the ad revenue, suckers. God, it's like
is 40K ending? Click here to find out.
No. Internet
we
AIDS.
should do that. We should do that.
Yeah. Start around like 40K.
Just have it like is 40K ending? And then when people click it, it just says no.
I would wake up in the morning with like a single tear rolling down my cheek for having become what I hated most.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So have you been able to do anything outside of the Gamer's Tale there? Working on commissions?
Yes. A little bit. So I think I decided that like if I do commissions, I don't have it's cheaper for me to do commissions, collect money, and then buy terrain than it is for me to make terrain and not do commissions. So I've decided to do that. I got like my next batch. It was like the $600 order from Ironheart Artisans. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. I got that on Friday.
I saw that little pile. Yeah.
It was like I think I had like a few minutes where I had to go and pick up Sierra's daughter from school and then run home and grab, I forgot, like some crackers and some other shit for like an art show. And I had like 10 minutes, like there was 10 minutes to spare. And I saw that it had come into my like P.O. box. And I ran down there with priorities flaring. Grabbed the box of all boxes. It was like, I don't know, 2 Apple boxes together. And just barely had time to like open it up. Disturbed that it was full of packing peanuts, so it was hard to tell what was in there.
Right. I heard packing peanuts.
They packed a lot of penis in there in that box. It was a whole bunch of midgets attached to the penis, but it was pretty exciting. But also in there's a buttload of giveaways for Urza. So Battles on Urza, there was like Gene had worked out something and copped a bunch of. There's some really cool like range rulers. It has like this. You've seen these before, I'm sure, with like the Gale Force 9, where it's like 6 along one side, 2 along the other.
Yeah. They're used in Infinity a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Gale Force did something like that. Ironheart Artisans did that or something like that. Except it looks like brass knuckles. There's like 4 holes in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's dope.
Super cool.
It's hella dope. I showed those. I brought those over to Tier 1, and Nate was there, and he was like, "Oh," grabbed it, and like he had to put them on. Like I hadn't even got that far. He like took it out of the package, like, "Yes, I think I'm gonna keep this." And I couldn't tell him no.
Competition.
Yeah, like punching motherfuckers. I wins.
Yeah, you can't tell him no after you give him the knuckle dusters.
Yeah, once he's got them on, you're naming your stuff.
Okay, he's gonna punch me with plastic. Acrylic.
Still hurt.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No.
So that was cool. Got the 2 tankers done.
They look awesome.
Yeah, they look real good. Would it look better if there was like a weird little kind of bump on the bottom of it rather than just kind of that flat carry along?
Yeah, that's true.
That's just a personal thing there.
Well, the next one I make will be a Slanishi bucket for you. With your Slanishi buckets. Found at a retail store. But it will remain nameless.
You should get Cabela ones.
I
bet they get a bucket from everywhere but Lowe's.
where I do not work.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere where he doesn't work.
So I got one at Fred Meyer, got one at Home Depot, but who else has
It's
one?
like you're gonna just slowly go through every single retailer and be like,
Target.
which one, by process of elimination, we will get you fired.
Start going to the paint store. Find some husbandry store. Can I borrow your animal feed bucket? So I think that's about it. I'm sure I'll come up with something after you guys start talking.
Yeah, sidebars everywhere. Mm-hmm. Phil.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Excellent.
What you been up to? Because I can just interrupt you. So
that's true.
Oh, he will.
That's true.
As he already is.
I know. I mean, I've been recording bat reps as usual, but I've also just decided to start up a Death Watch army because the models were super cool and the release with everything they came with, it was a little too much to turn down, and it looks super cool.
Have you started assembling them, or?
I've started to assemble them.
So how are you going to go? You got like a Black Star, right?
I did. I got a Black Star. I got the Watchmaster. I got the Watch Captain.
Actually, I believe it's a Corvus Dark Star.
No, it's not
Black
Dark Star. It's Black Star.
It's Black Star.
Yeah, it's Black
Maybe in English. I think.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what we were speaking. Yeah. Yeah. So
he's gonna go.
I know he's gonna check it just to make sure. And I bought the Death Mask set, the box, and I traded my Harlequins from that to some other fool who wanted the Harlequins. And
You're glowing. Was it Dark Star?
Yeah.
It was Dark Star?
No, it's not. It's Black Star.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
That's a like 70s sci-fi movie if they went Dark Star.
I know Black Star just sounds weird.
Yeah.
It sounds like a like a 70s exploitation superhero.
See what it is it's actually a reference to a black porn star's anus. It's a black star. Sorry, maybe I should.
Black porn star called Corvus. Corvus's Black Star.
That's my big hole.
Wow.
So you're fielding that ship, huh?
Yeah, so apparently I'm
Get 10 of them
yeah, exactly.
and pack them with men.
And they are going to be pounded by broadsides.
Oh man.
The best.
As long as they don't get hit by the D, we should be fine.
Oh yes.
Yeah, D's gonna wreck it.
D's gonna wreck these guys. But yeah, so then I got the anyway. So I also got the death mask set. And I traded, like I said, my half of the Harlequins for Jonathan's.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for his stuff. And I've been looking through, and I started building them. And I mean, the sprues that they come with are super cool.
Yeah.
All the different weapons options, and like the super heavy or the heavy thunder hammers.
Oh yeah.
Two-handed thunder hammers.
Thumber hammers.
Thumber hammer.
Just a big thumb.
Thumber
hammer.
hammer. I got the thumber hammer.
Oneth, twoeth, threeth, fourth.
Fourth.
I challenge ye to a thumb wars.
Thumbeth war.
Thumbeth war.
War thumber 40,000.
Anyway, so I got those, and I mean, I'm starting to assemble them, and the way I think I'm going to work it out, the first two veteran squads I've got, I'm going to have a close combat squad, and I'm going to have a shooty squad. So I'm going to have one squad with 2 heavy thunder hammers and 2 with those cool storm shields that they have in there, because they come with 2 of them, and regular thunder hammers. And then I'm going to have
the dark shields.
The dark shields?
The
black
black
shield. No, the black shield's an actual guy. That's a dude bro, dog. It's a dude bro, dog. And then the other
As
one
he
I'm gonna
adjusts his underwear.
From here on out, I'm just going to replace every reference to black as dark.
So then there was the Dark Crusade.
Yeah, the Dark Crusade.
The Dark Legion.
Yeah, the Dark Legion.
It's not quite black.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
kind of dark.
It's a little dark. It's, not
It's a little
quite-
hard to see.
Yeah. And then the other one I'm going to have is going to be a shooty squad. So I'm going to have 2 of the frag cannons. I'm going to have 2 of the Infernus bolters. So those are going to be the 2 base.
Those frag cannons are amazing.
Super cool. Super
You can
cool.
tell how good quality something is by how quickly a third-party manufacturer
Yeah.
makes
They came
makes
real
it.
quick.
And it was
real
really quick.
Really
2 companies
quick.
started like, hey, here's a frag cannon.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You've got 2. It's Assault 2 template, like strength 6
AP4. Yeah.
and then it's got a secondary firing function where it's like strength 8. It's like
Strength
assault,
9 AP2, but it's a 12 inches.
Yeah, at 12. Well, no, but they've
Oh,
the one
right,
they've got
yeah,
is like
it extends
24
out.
inches at
Right.
strength.
Seven
strength 6,
AP4,
something like
strength
that.
6,
Yeah,
one of the 2.
super brutal. I'm super excited about it. So,
What
so
I'm
we have those
excited
guys.
is that the next codex is supposed to, or the next expansion is supposed to be Blood Angels, and we're getting our frag cannons back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, we don't know
Tad
that.
knows
Yeah.
this off of one
Yeah.
picture with one quote from a
Could-
guy
yeah.
without a model. Yeah, get frag cannons
Yeah.
back.
Hashtag confirmed.
Are Blood Angels getting frag cannons back? Click here to find out.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah. So those. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
putting them together, and it's kind of cool because I play the Dark Angels, so I haven't had access to
The
Stern
Black
Guard.
Angels.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah,
Black
the
Angels?
Black
Yeah.
Angels. I haven't had access to Stern Guard or Vanguard veterans, so I'm excited to kind of play with those guys.
I don't know why I'm finding
I
this
don't
funny.
either.
Just fucks with them. It's
I
great.
know, exactly.
Black Eldar.
No,
yeah, exactly.
no.
So I'm pretty- no. And I also have the Overkill box, so I've got all those dude bros coming with it. Which is pretty cool.
I know that's Death Watch Overkill. No, Death Kill Overwatch. That's what
Yeah,
we call it.
Death by
yeah, I'm sorry.
Undertow.
Yeah, Death Kill
Death
Overwatch.
by Undertow. Yeah. So I've got that one. So I don't know. I've got a pretty decent setup.
You
And
have
also
a pretty
the-
big force already for that.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. And it, relatively speaking, it didn't cost a lot to get that pretty decent set, which is pretty nice. Like the price points for these things, like the Flyers, $65.
What I thought was kind of cool was like
Which is
everything
nice.
you buy that's like Death Watch. Like I think what was it if you buy the Death Watch Razorback, it's 75 cents more than the regular Razorback, but it comes with the upgrade sprue, which
Really?
isn't a big
Yeah,
deal.
that's not
But
bad.
that's still like, I think that upgrades, like if you just had like vanilla dudes or like bought
Yep.
some Stern Guard, it upgrades like 10 guys. Or
Yeah,
something
I was
like
gonna
that.
say like the watch.
Plus
I
it
got
comes
the
with like a head and some other crap.
I
So-
got the Watch Captain
Mhm.
set, and it's basically just the regular Space Marine
Yeah.
Captain set, except it comes with a Death Watch
Undertow.
upgrade sprue, Death Watch Undertow upgrade sprue. So he only uses like the one shoulder pad,
Yeah.
and then you've got all these other ones. So I'm gonna be looking into. I think I'm gonna get the Kill Team box set because I
Uh-huh.
really want those rule set. I think it'd be
Oh,
cool.
okay.
It seems like an interesting
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna convert those dude bros that come with it into more Death Watch guys.
That's
So
hot.
because there's plenty of extra weapons options that come with the Death Mask.
It's
set,
almost kind of at the same time like, why would you buy a Rhino when you just buy a Razorback for a little bit more and
Yeah.
get all the extra
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
Right now,
precisely.
it's why wouldn't you just buy a Death Watch one and then either you have Death Watch sprue or sell it on eBay for
Yep,
like $5?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I think
I
I'll
like
go
what
down
they're
it.
doing. It seems really cool. I like what they've done with this release.
Mhm.
Make a codex, make a bunch of kits that are decently priced and not stupid
Yeah.
overpriced. And I mean, the army itself doesn't seem overly powered, but it's got some really cool, interesting little quirks that make it fun. It's like, wow, they're actually making a fun release that people could get behind, and no one's going to get salty
And
about.
which is crazy because normally all their releases suck and they're horrible and we hate the game.
Yeah.
Rage
And-
quit.
And usually they don't release models or box sets with codexes.
ever.
So I don't know. I've
No,
been
that's
I've been
good.
super stoked about the
Yeah.
release. So, and I mean, the thing that really drew me was the lore and the fluff behind the Death Watch. It's just a super cool concept that I was like, yeah, okay, I'm sold. I'm done. I'm gonna do this.
Do you want your Flesh Tearers pad?
The flesh tears, but no, I could probably give you some of those.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah.
you something else.
Yeah, we'll figure something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Ted makes a Death Watch army exclusively comprised of Flash Terrors.
The most expensive single shoulder pad.
That's
yeah,
how,
I buy that
yeah.
shoulder pad at $50 a piece.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you're gonna get your frag cannons back. You just run them as Death Watch from the Codex.
Oh, sad face.
They just haven't had their armor painted yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They're new recruits.
that's sort of like how I'm running the Skyhammer Annihilation Force. They're just really green. They're just really green Ultramarines. So, oh, that made Ted sad.
Well, I
And
just
made
started, like-
Jonathan salty.
I started
He's not
thinking,
even playing me, and he still feels
Oh,
salty. About it.
I hear the word Skyhammer, and I instantly want to table flip. Yeah.
we just got the preamp to work at this angle, so I'd appreciate if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not buzzing
Yeah,
as
it
bad
only,
as
it only
could.
took us like 45 minutes
Yeah.
to get the preamp working.
Again, this episode of Mob Rules brought to you by technical difficulties.
There for you whether you want it or not.
I once. So what are you up to, John?
Well,
Welcome to the podcast.
Anyway, sidebar.
Hello, yeah.
Ted, how are you doing? Sorry. Go on, John.
So I was thinking about moving.
it's a trap. Go on. Well, so I bought a new army. That was I bought the Death Mask box. I was going to do a Death Watch army because I really liked the Corvus Dark Stars and how they look until someone pointed out that they were a George Foreman grill.
What?
And they were shaped like a George Foreman grill or a
No, they're
waffle
not.
iron.
No, they're not.
Or something like that. It's like one of those can't unsee moments for me.
It's not.
So
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now in my head. I can't see that. I think you're crazy.
Well, I don't know. The Imperial Fist logo looks like a Hello Kitty.
Oh, damn.
yeah, I was going to play sound effect, but I'm just going to let that sit and let it get its thing. I took the Harlequin half of the box.
That wasn't an effective.
and I traded. that burn was so ineffective.
Yeah, I know.
Ineffective. Set fire to Teflon. So I traded. So I have two halves of the Harlequin set for the Death Mask now. And then I
You're
was
welcome.
thank you. And then I was talking to my friend Colin, and I was like, "Hey, man, it was like rumor has it you're going to let me borrow your Eldar for the next tournament. I just wanted to run something new and something different." He was like, "Rumor has it I'm selling my Eldar." And I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Wow.
So I bought all of his Eldar.
Is there any army you don't own at this point?
No, I only have 4. now.
Only 4.
So now I have Orcs, Tyranids, Space Marines, and Eldar.
Okay.
That's just 4. No, not terrible. And even that, only one chapter of Space Marines. So I'm doing pretty good.
Jab.
Wow,
jab.
yeah, I was going to say, wow, damn. That's cold as ice.
So yeah, I spent this week stripping them down with the isopropyl alcohol. Thank you, Ted, for that little advice. And,
Don't use on resin.
yeah,
Overnight.
I do.
Also, don't leave it on too long on the plastic either.
Oh, did you have a problem with that?
No, I've seen problems
okay.
with it. So
Yeah, no. So I'll let it sit for about a minute, then scrub it, and then run it underwater, and then kind of wash it off there. But so yeah, I got everything together. I have a pretty good army out of it now, to be honest. It's first world problems. Being like, well, man, if I take this Wraith Knight, then I can't take the Lynx, or maybe there's 2 Wraith Knights here.
Oh, he had a Lynx too. That's right.
Yeah, he had a Lynx.
well, now it's my turn to be salty too.
He had a Lynx and about 15 Wraith Guard, a couple Wraith Lords, 2 Wraith Knights. The first thing I did was I had a little credit at the Yield Forge World store, so I bought Imperial armor, the Doom of I forget which one it is. So I bought that because that allows me to do a war host with Harlequins in it, with the faction of Eldar.
For those of you who can't see me, which is everyone except for John and Ted, I am shaking my head slowly back and forth.
I think they could hear you.
Yeah, that's true. They probably heard the head swish.
But
The beard rustling in the wind.
the main reason I purchased the Eldar was because I was coming off of a major funk, because I'm getting ready for 3,500 points to Apocalypse.
Oh.
I'm playing at our Alaska Battle Brothers tournament coming up
I need
here
to
next
speed
month.
this paint job up. What can I do? Start another army.
It was
Sorry, I
mainly
just laughed right into the microphone. It caught me unaware there.
it was mainly
I can work on my dissertation, or I can play World of Warcraft for the next 18 days.
Well, there's that too. But in the last 4 weeks, I've painted 70 bolter power armor Imperial Fist Yellow Marines.
That is awful.
And I looked at my
I love power armor, but that's the limit, man.
and I looked at my to-do pile of like Imperial Fist left to paint, and there's a Spartan. I got to finish off my Fire Raptor. There's all this other stuff, and I'm like, I need a break. I need something different. And it just so like, oh, Eldar. I've not painted Eldar before. That's no power armor.
That's the one army I've never had, because like I feel like you have to have like a certain level of painting ability that I just don't feel like committing to. Like,
Yeah, no.
Especially if it's like Harlequins, like all
are
the
you-
checks and craziness.
Are you kidding me?
No, did Ted just say that he doesn't have the painting ability to paint Eldar?
My
it's always
Samhan
intimidating me.
Eldar, I sprayed them red, and then I masked off their face and sprayed them white. I'm like, oh, it looks pretty
Done.
good. Done. Next tournament level army. And also, I don't have to be an asshole, because I can't say, hey, I built them all as scatter laser bikes. They all came as scatter laser bikes. I don't have a choice.
You bought a Cheezer's army.
Pretty much. There's a
was-
bunch of Warp Spiders. There's about 14. No, I have about 20 scatter laser jet bikes now. Yeah.
Thank you, Colin Tryhard Wingo.
Yeah, he just wanted to.
He just won a tournament. Yeah,
yeah, he
That's
just won with
congratulations on
his demons. He
yeah,
won with demons.
with the brass scorpion. Isn't that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Yeah.
And it was
No. The one he just won. No,
Yeah,
the one he
Brass
won was
Scorpion.
with the brass scorpion. Yeah.
Yeah.
He came second in the last one he went to without a brass scorpion.
Yeah, with the demons.
With Nurgle.
He beat me really hard.
He beat me because I made a technical error, and he was
What
better than me.
was the technical error?
You showed up.
He rolled dice instead of punches.
I should have moved to Turvagon to shoot Nurglings off an objective, and I didn't, so he got primary. So it made me sad. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. I've started going through all those and kind of cleaning them up. There's a Hornet in there, which is
What's a Hornet?
It's a tiny little Forge World Flyer, which you might field in squadrons of 3. I'm assuming, looking at the rules, because
Oh,
they're
yeah, I've seen that. Or like
very-
a hover thing, like right. Like
yeah, or something like that. It's very small and fragile.
The
There's
guys on Tabletop Tactics, the guy his Eldar, he uses the Hornets on that.
What are they armed with?
I don't know. Yeah, probably
Shuriken pistols?
scatter lasers.
Xenos BS, I don't know.
And then I ordered
Scatter catapults, I don't know.
4 scatter king catapults. I ordered from TT Combat, a company out of the UK, porta potties.
Those are cool.
28 millimeter porta potties. I have pictures of them up on my my Twitter page. And then I'm making those for our 30K Apocalypse game. So everyone's going to have a Legion specific porta potty that they get as a participation prize.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And then I also ordered from, I forget the company name, but a airbrush stencil, a hexagon airbrush stencil.
Is that Fallout Hobbies?
Yes,
Or-
from Fallout Hobbies. So because I have now a bunch of.
We're not being paid by any of these people, by the way.
However, if you want to,
Yeah.
so if you're listening and you want to pay us, we will
please send
gladly.
it to me. I will gladly use your
Gladly.
products and then talk about them. But so yeah, I figured I have a bunch, like 3 wave serpents, I have a bunch of other vehicles and stuff I want to paint, and I thought it'd be really cool if I just did kind of like a black undercoat and then just covered the top with like red hexagons, and it was like a really nice simple way to do it would just be to get those airbrush things.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we'll see how they turn out.
This is for their Harlequins, right?
No, this is for my secondhand vehicles.
Oh,
'Cause I
okay.
have a ton of vehicles.
How many
There's-
armies do you start?
No, well, Harlequins are it's all space elves.
Okay.
It's all it's all shitty space elves.
So I have my Exodites army, my Black Elder army.
Black Eldar. Oh man,
Way to keep it going.
That's a 70s exploitation movie if ever I've seen it.
I kind of like it. I actually read the book by Iceberg Slim. My Black Elder.
But yeah, that's all I've been up to.
That's all,
I just painted like 70 Marines and bought too much stuff, and that's it.
Sweet.
I made plans to start Deathwatch Army, canceled it, went to Eldar, and started tryharding.
Good choice.
I made plans to not start a Deathwatch army and then did. So
Yeah.
Try hard.
try hard. Yeah,
One trip to the valley.
yeah.
Where they had everything available.
Yeah, okay. Fast in the Valley.
Oh man. Actually, like I thought I was not going to, because I think I pre-ordered that at one point, thinking I was going to do like a unboxing, and then it in Anchorage, I think there's only one place that had them. And they all got bought up immediately, and it was like, what is it, 2 weeks now after they showed up?
Yeah, I got mine on Saturday.
Yeah, I know. So like I was really excited about
shipping to Alaska.
I had actually talked myself out of it, and then they're like, here they are. Like, damn it. All right.
Are you starting a Deathwatch too now?
Well, I think it's just gonna be like I always had them as like my Stern Guard.
Uh-huh.
Like, back in the day,
cool.
they
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
had
yeah.
rules for Deathwatch,
Yeah.
so I'd always include them. Just because I kind of dug
cool,
the idea.
yeah.
I think an army, like depending on how, I wouldn't want to do a company. Like that just seems a little like unfluffy to have an entire company of like super specific
But
guys.
they
like
made
there's
the
an
fluff,
army of
but
Superman.
they've made the fluff now, so
Yeah.
it is fluffy.
Sure.
Did you
Counts.
guys
but I think it's like an allied
Yeah,
contingent.
yeah.
I
That's
think
kind of what I'm envisioning my stuff as.
did
That'd
you
be
guys
cool.
see the advert that GW did for Deathwatch, and they did it in the A-Team style?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. that
Oh,
was
it
cool.
was very good.
Is it a video or a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a video. They're doing lots of good things.
Yeah, it's like video of like their miniatures. It's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of dope. I'll
Yeah.
go back and check that out.
I've
No,
been pretty
I
impressed by what
did
they've been
see
doing on
the
social
Blood
media.
Angel advert, and that's all I'm really.
Yeah.
That's in my
Oh,
head.
Yeah.
It's like
I got bad news for you,
seeing
Ted.
some
So
of these
they
paintings
released
you
a
didn't mean to.
brand new plastic Karn the Betrayer. Okay.
What do you mean you have bad news for me?
So they released a brand new plastic Karn the Betrayer.
Yeah.
And then follow up with that, they release a quote from a Flesh Terror character, Blood Angel character, with no model.
Blood Angel.
A Blood Angel character
'Cause
with
it's the
no
Death
model.
Company, Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I think you might be losing some fluff characters. He might die.
who?
I don't know.
Just
That's some,
we're just gonna lose.
That's
a
what you're
character?
envisioning.
yeah. Some Blood Angel character will die. The
Well,
internet will be butthurt.
Considering that like 90% of the Blood Angel characters were like sculpted in the 80s.
Back in the
okay.
good old days.
Oh man, that Mephiston sculpt.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Come at us, bro.
or Kerbolo.
Yeah.
But hey, Seth is fairly new, so I'm not going to lose him.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That's the hope. That's hope. Speaking of Seth, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back.
What?
We're going to be talking about, well, not
Seth.
really Seth at all. We're going to start with the shorter
he
of
did
the
show
two
up. Oh,
stories.
wait.
He was.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, and as I completely lose the name of the book here, or I'm
Jeff.
sorry, short form letter, Death Shepherd.
Oh, Death Shepherd.
Death Shepherd.
It's
So
a
we'll be
dark
right
shepherd.
back.
So
after
Black
Son of
Shepherd?
Burden and Death Shepherd.
Yes.
Life Shepherd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dak
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd. We will be back to talk about actor, comedian Dak Shepherd.
To the objective, my brother. With haste, we must recover the chapter master before the vile Tyranids devour him, and all hope for our chapter's future.
I fear it is too late, brother, for look on the horizon. An incoming monster heads for our honorable leader.
We can still make it.
No, brother, there is no hope. He's Turva gone now.
God damn it, Dave.
Oh man, we used up all of our good jokes when we were trying
know.
to
That
when we
was
were trying
so
to fix the technical issues. So
So
for
nothing
this,
but crappy jokes from here on out, peeps.
I swear to God, they were funny. So yeah,
Trust us. You can trust us.
Only because Phil was the butt of it.
No.
so if for the rest of the episode, if you hear slight static, we're having issues with that. We're good with it now.
Or
Ted's gonna
Celine Dion.
if you hear light pop music in the background, for
That's
some
your fault,
reason-
not ours.
That's actually a choice
Yeah.
of ours. That's a
No, I'm not paying royalties
Background
on that.
music.
So yeah, if you hear light pop music, for some reason our recording board has turned into a FM receiver and won't turn off.
We have our Celine Dion sound bed that we like to play everything on, just for that adult contemporary feel that really mellows things out.
Yeah.
So we got some books.
Yeah, Dak Shepard. A short story by Andy Simley.
Yeah.
What do we think, Ted?
Oh man. It was the descriptives. I think like going into it, like where it's a story about.
By the way, before we go on spoilers, there will be
hella
spoilers.
Super spoilers.
Super
so
spoilers.
this book not a book. It's a
Short story.
paragraph was recently published. A short story was just recently released. I imagine this is going to be anthology fodder. I think it's going to be something.
Oh, absolutely.
bigger.
Yeah, it'll be anthology.
I mean, it really is pretty short. I mean, I think it was what did it say? It was like 18 pages when I downloaded it.
17.
But actual story was about half that.
Yeah, no,
7.
Really? Because mine, it came up 3 pages.
Well,
So I'm going through it on
I
my.
was reading it on my phone.
Oh,
What
I
were you reading
downloaded
on?
the Mobi,
So-
so I was looking on
okay.
my computer screen.
I'm going through it on my phone right now. Page 1 is the cover. Page 3 is where the story starts. Page 7 is where it ends.
Oh, 4 pages.
So
4 pages. And then we get a nice page about Andy Simile, and then 8 pages of ads.
So it's about $1 and some change per page.
Yeah, about $1.50
Okay.
a page. So story-wise, it's going into a flesh terror's chaplain who's the last of his kind, pretty much, on the planet, trying to rouse the remaining Imperial Guard in one final push.
Zuko?
It's a people. They look is it zucchini.
Zucchini. Something
Yeah,
I
like
mean, we
the
could
zucchini.
literally just go read the whole thing right now and find it out. So
that. Well, then we probably.
I think it
get
was kind of
lawyers
neat because the descriptives he had, like the way he really fleshed out the event,
Yeah.
was really good. Like
yeah,
I mean,
it was a fantastic story.
Oh, yeah,
It really
yeah.
was.
and I think that so it was him rallying this the last of these people that the flesh terrors had previously freed and had established for the Emperor.
Like long time ago.
Yeah, like and so they and it was originally under when right after I think the chapter was established, they had gone in and they had lost X amount of guys and everything else. So they were going in, they were taking out some heretics. And it was just like him rallying these people, and I thought that was really kind of neat because it went through like how he was like, "And my battle brothers," but it is a lie because I know that they're not my.
They're not
et cetera,
really
et cetera.
battle brothers, but they don't need to know that kind
And
of
so he took these people who most of which they had their las guns or auto guns, but they were depleted on ammunition.
thing.
It was
They had
like
no ammunition.
they were fixing knives and sharp things to it to use as
with like
bludgeons.
bootlaces. Yeah.
And so anyway, it was like they knew that they were going to die. He knew that they were going to die, but it was just a matter of like, my courage is a better armor than flak vest.
Yeah.
So,
a quote here is, "I am both shepherd and slaughtermaster. Where I lead, few will survive, and so I armor them with falsehood." I'm like,
cool.
that's the good guys.
Yeah, that's the good
yeah.
and in the end they did it, but they, I don't know.
Yeah, super spoiler alert, because here's the very end of it. That was brutal.
That was page 2.
Yeah. The very ending of it was, oh man, it was super brutal.
So yeah, it ends with the chaplain and 50 Imperial Guardsmen with their gun clubs running across a battlefield to take out the last 100 or so of the Royal Guard, as they were called there, and then him going into a blood rage, murdering everyone, and then it's him and 3 loyal guard people left. They're like, "Oh, thank God, we made it." And then I'm going to let you, Phil.
And then he proceeds to kill them. He kills the first 2. He smashes one's head. He says it just pops it with the Crozius Arcanum, and then he punches like the other one. Like it's just like crazy town. Like all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh shit, this is where his friend. Like these are his like allies here." And like the last guy like drops to his knees and he's like, "What's up with this?" Like what's
as he
going
grabs
on?
him by the head and holds him aloft.
Yeah, he picks him up and he's like, "You guys, we gave you this gift, and then you gave it away. You think that like what is it? Like sinning against the Emperor without knowledge is doubly dangerous. Is I don't know, doubly bad, because it's like not only did you let this happen, but you weren't aware enough to stop it." And it's like, he's basically just like kills the last guy, like rips out his heart, kills the last I think, human being on this planet.
Yep.
Is the kind of sense I got out of
Yeah.
this. They'd literally slaughtered, both sides had literally slaughtered each other to the man, and he popped and killed the last guy, and then after, like, presumably after that, he, like, called down the Thunderhawk and, like, took off. He was
Yeah,
like,
but-
later-
You'll ride,
later
hit
on.
me up.
Yeah, exactly.
As Kit like rolls up, hello,
Yeah,
Michael.
exactly.
Another kind of quote from here is, "I growl, I am no savior, I am a destroyer."
Yeah. It's brutal.
We be making jokes about how short it is. It's only 4 pages and but I learned a hell of a lot from the Flesh Terror's way of thinking, their tactics, and all that other kind of stuff from that story. It really did a good job of kind of putting you in their mindset and kind of what happens there.
Yeah.
Ted, you play Flesh Terrors. How did you feel the story represented those guys?
I mean, it's hard for me. I guess I didn't see it quite as. It wasn't quite as insightful for me. But I see where you're coming from.
To me, I got more of an insight into the mentality of a chaplain
You know what?
than necessarily like just a flesh terror, because he was super dogmatic about everything, and like at the end there, you would think that it's like, well, I've been fighting with these guys for however long, they've followed me literally into the jaws of death.
Yeah.
They're the last people alive on here. They're going to be loyal citizens of the Empire,
Yeah.
but of the Imperium of Man. But he's like, nope, you guys sinned, therefore you're dead.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you've done, you can't atone for it other than in death. And it's like, oh damn, chaplain.
Yeah, I think in some ways, like going back to what Jonathan was saying, that is it a telltale sign of, or is it an indicator of the flesh terror philosophy? I think it did seem like he was talking a bit at one point about two in the 2 sentences he spoke to the guardsmen. I think there was like a talk of honor. There was that's really big, I think, for the Blood Angels. A bit less so for the Flesh Terrors, but it's still there. And I think that was it. It was like, this is you've slighted our honor. You've slighted, like the honor of the emperor and everything. And like, there is like this, I don't know. It's almost an all-consuming idea that if you do slight, the honor of the chapter, of the honor of, all these things. Because I think the Blood Angels, for the most part, I mean, that's the backbone of things. Like they're like the most loyal, in a lot of ways, like one of the most loyal, if not the most loyal chapter. So I think it's a huge slap in the face. So perhaps it also speaks to the vanity of the chapter as well. That you are an extension of us, and so you not only do we have to look as good as possible and be as good as possible, but everybody that we associate ourselves have to be and look as good as possible. So I think maybe you're onto something.
Isn't
there.
that the concept of the death companies too, where it's like, once you start to show, the dishonor and the weakness of our gene seed, the only way to make up for that is to give your life in battle for the Empire and for the Emperor. Isn't it like the concept of? That's
it
what
is a
I
redemption
gathered is what
aspect.
it's
There
redemption.
is a high redemption aspect.
So.
Although it's hard to say. I think with the Death Company, it might not be. I kind of wonder because I haven't seen it where the Death Company are necessarily thinking that. Like once you're into the Black Rage, you're almost like a beast.
Okay.
So, but I think it is for the chapter at large to cultivate that, and as part of the chaplain, as the shepherd of the Death Company, to make sure that they're able, and they really do believe it. They really do believe that that they have for their own individual, like the individual soul or whatever you want to call it of the Space Marine, that they should be allowed to atone for it. So I think there is. It's not just like we're going to slaughter you because you're unreliable, but
they're not just going to kill you, but
there's appreciation
you have
for the
to
individual
earn.
struggle.
You have to, and that's you kind of see that with how he led these, these guys in the same kind of way, where it's like, led them literally into the jaws of death to make up for what they did, and then the 3 who were left alive, it's like, well, now. You've served your purpose. And, there's only
you did what you could. You tried to atone. Your atonement will never be complete.
Yeah, but the only true atonement is in death.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. That's a really good point.
All I really knew of Flesh Terrors before these stories we read was they were massive assholes.
That's every short story I've read with the Flesh Terrors. That seems to be the way. Everyone, anytime they see them,
how is it
everyone's
that my
just like
2 favorite chapters are complete assholes?
So yeah, it's
but
like,
in different ways.
Yeah.
Dark Angels are shrouded in secrecy. Imperial Fists are very stubborn and masters of defense, and Flesh Terrors are
Like to hurt
assholes.
themselves.
But I mean, it's just, and there's a lot that's packed into this. Essentially, speech and section. Like it mentions how the chaplain had made the Imperial Guard eat each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As only the strongest would survive, which made me think it wasn't just the victims of war who were eaten; it was actual live people.
He also talks about how earlier in the day he had led the injured just out into no man's land to soak up.
To waste
ammo,
their
to
ammo.
waste the ammo of the enemy. They weren't attacking. They didn't think they were going to get anything other than getting slaughtered, and therefore using the enemy's ammo on for them. And it's like, that's some cold shit right there. And that's the same thing where like, yeah, oh man, that was brutal.
And I think that speaks to me. That speaks generally to the Marine / regular person relationship as it is, but more so I think from the Flesh Terrors things where I think it's like you didn't really have to. We have rations back here, but hey, eat that guy.
and that's why. That's also I think a little bit why it kind of feels like almost like these people were in a death company of themselves. Which is, interesting that they're being led by the chaplain. And it felt like it was a bit of a death company where it's like, you're going to have to deal and go through shit that we wouldn't normally put someone in your position through. Like the stuff that the death company go into they wouldn't have necessarily sent regular battle brothers into it because they're going in knowing that there's a large chance they're not coming back. And that's part of the redemption process is not coming back. But they put him in there anyway as part of that redemption, and I felt like it was the same way with this, where it's like, yeah, usually usually Marines are pretty loose when it comes to throwing bodies, human, regular mortal bodies at the enemy. I mean, like we saw with that last one, the Wrath of Iron, where they were just like, yeah, your job is just to get like shot up so that we can do our job,
right?
But this one, it was like even beyond that, where it's like, oh, you need to eat? Fine, eat that dude because he's weak, and it's like, oh,
my suit feeds me.
Yeah, exactly. Like my suit feeds me, I'm good. You want to eat? Eat that dude. It's like, well, these guys have a whole bunch of ammo. Oh, you can't run into battle with us? Tell you what, I'm going to lead you up right now, limping along, so that you can get shot and take a bullet. And that's one less bullet that's going to come out.
And he's just an asshole about it. Be like, no, you were strong. The Emperor makes you strong. We shall make this charge together.
Yeah, we will do this together. We're all battle brothers. Go! Oh, you're dead. Oh, no. Such a shame. Didn't expect that.
God.
Anyway, back to the battle plan.
Hey, who's hungry?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's, another thing. It almost seemed like it was like, that extra level of seemingly heartlessness, but it's coming from a different place than just pure disregard for life. It more comes from a place of you needed to redeem for what you've besmirched our chapter, for you've besmirched the Empire. You were given a gift. You were given given this land, and you were given this freed planet. And then you threw it in
do
our
with
face.
as we tell you.
Yeah, to do with as we tell you. And then you decided that that your royal lineage was more important than our governor. Well, this is what you get. And it's like, damn. Son,
I think there were a lot of like connections I could make to like a Wrath of Iron. I mean, I think like just allowing the government to have the idle hands to play with the devil's playthings or whatever, like that's what came through in this one. That's what it came through in Wrath of Iron. Like, and it came down to like, look, it's everybody's job to make sure that bad doesn't come of this. Even a lowly regimental guard, like it's your job to like make sure that your governors don't fuck up.
Yeah, totally.
It's weird like to think. I mean, they really do see it as. I mean, it's a true like small c communistic kind of philosophy, or you're all in together, or like through thick and thin, except there's no thick. It's all bad.
And the thing is, you can understand that this planet is probably like on the edge of the Imperium, where they have no real major interactions with with Terra on a day-to-day basis. Maybe not even a year-to-year basis. Maybe it's like every couple years they have to fill whatever quota they have to and send it back there. But on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, they're just there living themselves on this planet out in the middle of nowhere, far detached from anywhere else. So all of a sudden you get there, it's like, yeah, why are we listening to this dude bro who was just put in place by this magical planet all the way on the other side of the universe from us? Like, we have a long history of these royal families that should be leading us because this is our planet. This is what it is for us. And, the dark, not the Blood Angels, the Flesh Terrors come along, and it's like, they're completely entrenched in the Imperium. Like that's their thing. Is they're just part of the Imperium. They don't have anything about them. They don't have a history. They don't have anything that's not completely Imperium.
Okay.
So all of a sudden they come in here and it's like, no, you're wrong, and we will kill you for that.
Now I'm just seeing kind of like Randy Marsh from South Park. We're like, we didn't listen. When the flesh terrors come down.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it was kind of interesting, like, you know, with the talk of the next campaign set, like the Black Legion, sorry, the Dark Legion.
The Dark Legion.
It's the darkness.
The Dark Crusade. That's going.
But yeah, I think with that coming up, you know, looking back to the next book we'll cover, was part of the Shield of Ball series, like of short stories and not so short stories.
I think Shield of Balls.
Yeah, but that was like it was an accompaniment of that campaign. But with this next one, it's supposed to be, you know, like Chaos. There's supposed to be what is it, like Blood Angels, Imperial Knights, Mechanicum, and something else, I think.
Oh yeah, are we talking about for the 13th Crusade?
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe we'll see some more. Hopefully, we'll see some more. Hopefully, it'll be longer. But maybe we'll see some more of these that are.
I mean, for all we talk about, like how short it was very well written. There was,
Very well
there was
written.
a
It's a
hell of a
fantastic
lot
story.
in there condensed into those 4 pages.
Yeah.
I think our issue is just the price.
Would I
That
recommend
was
buying
the-
it right now for $5? No.
Wait till it's an anthology.
When you see it in an anthology, absolutely get it. Absolutely read
Yeah,
it.
for
you know,
sure.
something like this, like I can almost see, you know, tune in White Dwarf, tuning in White Dwarf. Anybody there?
Yeah.
If you chose to put this in the magazine, you know, like I could see
That'd
that
be
as
an awesome
a good
selling
place
point,
for
yeah.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
like 2 to 3 pages. You know, almost like a New Yorker or
Yeah.
like
or
Atlantic.
or even have like a different pricing plan that you have for these things where it's like, I understand like $4.99 is their short story pricing,
Yeah.
but maybe have something where it's like, if
I
it's
got a Sun's Burden for $3.99.
did you?
Yeah.
Dang, how'd you get that?
I want the
Wow.
ball version.
What?
There's like 2 versions. There was like the regular one, and there was the Shield of Ball version.
Aw, what?
I didn't go through
crap.
Black Library. I went through iTunes.
Oh, well, that's probably why.
Yeah, I did. I went through
Yeah,
Black
yeah, I went
Library.
through Black Library.
I tried and I forgot my password.
Fair enough.
And for iTunes, it's just my thumbnail.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Which didn't have enough glue on it apparently, to keep me from buying it.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have, you know, stick with that for most of their short stories,
Yeah.
but then if it gets short like this, like cut it down to like, I don't know, 50, 75 cents per page.
Although now
And
that I
I'd be
think about
I'd be
it,
willing, like, to be honest, like
Yeah.
$2, I'd say this is worth it. For
Mm-hmm.
$2, I would pay for the short story.
Now-
It's good.
Now
It's
that I
really
think about
well,
it, I
really,
remember
really
talking to Kurt about this, and he was saying that for a long time, I think like the pricing was a lot leaner for the e-copies of things, and I think even like the hardback. But he seemed to be of the impression that it was iTunes that actually set prices for particular things,
and wouldn't let
so
them go under.
right. So that's why you end up with like their hardbacks, you know, like they went up in price. I'm not too sure. That's just his.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
I
could
don't
see
know.
him doing that because I know that some of that does does happen where these like where they're like,
I know GW like
you can't do it
fillets
cheaper.
Apple.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, they say it's like you can't sell it for cheaper, you know, than what you sell through us, and then it's like, well, this is the price that we're willing to put your stuff up for, and then it's like, all right, well, I guess that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So, but
No.
yeah, I don't know.
I like to think that Andy Simile went into the office,
And
threw down
demanded
his
$4.99 for
threw down his transcript. I'm like, oh great, you got the book here. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, Andy, this is like 4 pages. Yeah. You're meant to turn in like a 400-page Horus Heresy manuscript. They were like, no. This is my next book.
Yeah.
And they read the first page and were like, "This is gold."
Yeah. Or then he's
This
like,
is
all right,
beautiful.
so what do you want to price it? $4.99. I don't know. That seems
It was
that seems a little high. It's like, no, I will not allow you to publish this for any
Which is
cheaper
weird
than
that like a
$4.99.
British author talking to a British person in a British company was like using U.S. prices.
Yeah.
So Mr. Simile,
That's how you
authors,
knew he was serious about it.
authors don't set prices. In America, I do. It's $4.99.
Yeah, that's why
In
it's
America.
In America,
Yeah.
book prices you.
Yeah. What are you, communist?
Wow.
I will set the price.
Oh, but yeah, but look out for it. Death Shepherd. As soon as you see that in an anthology, grab that anthology
Yeah.
because it's
That's
like
pretty good.
it's a wonderful.
It is a fantastic
it's a
story.
fantastic short story. It's a great mind into or eye into the mind of a chaplain. And a flesh terror, and generally an asshole space marine,
Yeah.
which
And
is
very descriptive too. Like it's a good entertaining read, and not just like the insight that you get.
I think my favorite metaphor in the whole thing was saying that like the last gunfire like pattered on his armor as effective as rain
It's
water.
like rain on-
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just have like this great image of him walking forward, like this, shiny lights.
I have to
his
say, like-
Patriots are just like dropping all around him to the same wall of fire.
You know, I'm reading his, I think his first Flesh Terrors book. I remember,
Flesh Terrors.
yeah, it was, I've definitely seen like him evolve. Like it's really kind of neat. Like I think there were some points in there, like in the first one, were like, oh, okay, but now like his descriptives, I mean they're really good. Like it, especially like in the next book, I think he's really picked it up, and it really seems to bring me to that spot.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, just little things like the gunshots churning up dirt, or the way he what did they say, like how did he flipped around after he got hit by an autocannon.
Oh yeah, describing how he got knocked down when he got hit by that. Yeah,
so I think that was really cool.
It was really cool. It really made it like visceral, which was cool.
Yeah,
which is these kind of battle books, you kind of want to see that visceral. They kind of make it real. That's the whole point of this, is to flesh it out.
Flash it out, tear it up.
I meant to do that. No, I didn't.
Yeah. So we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to play a little game, and then we'll talk about book 2.
Sounds burden.
I really hope this is the only time we're like, let's talk about book 2 today now, and do like 2 in the same one. It won't be. But
well, maybe we'll talk graphic novels at some point.
oh yeah,
like
we're definitely
18
going to
of them.
move into comic books. That's going to be the. Do you want to read a whole book this month? Nah. Let's do our graphic novel episodes.
I prefer my books with pictures, please.
We'll do that for Christmas, I think. Anything done? No family. Okay, graphic novel.
No. Christmas is going to be great and awful for us because Black Library has their advent calendar every Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gonna be some goodies in there.
It's like a whole month of programming in the programs itself. It's the gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, we will be right back. We're going to play some eBay Prices Right.
Ooh.
Man, ladies kept checking their drinks. Thanks, Bill Cosby.
Hey, buddy, have you tried chocolate? It's a natural aphrodisiac that doesn't trigger any of the FBI's chemical tests.
Wow. Thanks, guy.
Where are you going?
To the grocery store.
Chocolate for that special lady that doesn't know she's special. Yet. Oh man, I'm just going to start by coughing. I want to start before we move on. What we're doing going forward here, as we're talking about these great Black Library stories. Dark Library stories.
Dark Library story.
We're keeping a running Imperial Fist death counter due to their awesomeness of deaths. So far in Mob Rules history, we're at 1,099 Imperial Fist deaths.
Wow.
That would be the 999 from the Beast Arises series and the 100 from the Ultramarine movie. Taking us to a total of, like I said, 1,099. From Dak Shepard, do any Imperial Fists die?
I think there was one guy in the background. You can see him over there.
Now there was no mention of Imperial Fists in the story,
but you could assume one of them.
You could
died,
assume
right?
400 million people died on that planet.
Yeah, most of them were Imperial Fists. That's what I heard.
What they don't tell you, the planet it was Earth all along. You bastards! You killed them all. Oh,
it was their homeworld, and it was just a whole bunch of the serfs in which they enlist from. All the squires, all the Imperial Fist squires, which count as half.
Yeah.
Or was it 3/8?
It was like a
3/5.
It was like a Civil War reenactment gone wrong when the chaplain went into the Black Rage and thought he was in a real battle.
I'm sorry. Did I clean out all of the squire from your?
So we're just gonna take a moment. We're gonna toll the bell of lost souls for every Imperial Fist lost today so far.
All right, I'll commence ignoring.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. No Imperial Fist died so far today.
Woo!
But
There's still time.
We do have one more story to go. But before that, oh man,
whoa, is this?
Go play some games. Want to do some eBay Prices Right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a while. So my search term today was 40K Flesh Terrors short.
Whoa.
This
so it could be a short sword. It could be a short wiener. It could be the fleshlight. Short fleshlight.
I should really have just Googled used flashlights and seen how much it was.
Ah.
That's going to be our bonus round if you guys tie.
I'll
So,
just concede.
as always, we are
Free
looking
STI.
for sold items from eBay
Okay.
that have been found using that wonderful moniker. We start today with a Blood Angels Captain Company Standard banner, Pro Painted 40K Flesh Terrors number 2. I can't, that sentence gives me a headache.
How
I
was
know, I was gonna say.
the pro paint? Was it real pro paint or was it? Okay, so what are we looking at here?
It's not bad.
Oh, that is pretty
Some
decent.
good detail work on the banner.
So is that looks like it's a Sword Brethren, but they swapped out the arms, perhaps, right?
Maybe.
And then
I will say negative points for 25 mil base.
oh, all right. It looks like there's 5
That's why
images.
he's selling it. 'Cause he
Right.
doesn't make
Okay. And I have to say, like they used a light box. Like this isn't just like somebody take a picture on their
Photos.
table.
Well,
or
it's a
anything.
pro
Ooh, the
painted.
backlit
Yeah,
banner is even better
it's-
than the front.
it's
This is
pro-
decent.
It's pro painted. They
It's
don't
actually pretty
use
pro-painted.
amateur.
It's a
painted.
handmade banner.
It's actually pretty pro painted.
Okay. Oh man. Bzzzt.
Yes.
Oh.
Ted.
35.
35. Okay. Wait, $35?
Yeah.
This isn't an Isaac commission here. This is,
What?
this includes the model. Let's.
I thought we were just the paint job.
They scrape it off and send it to you.
Yeah.
$36.
$36.
Just kidding. No.
Motherfucker.
No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm gonna go with $135.
Are you really?
Yeah. I don't know why I said 35. I think it's just because you're
Ted.
ahead. I'm gonna say 135.
What are you going for?
What are you
said
talking about? I
35.
just said 35.
35? Well, it went for $141.32.
Off by
Kidding.
$6.31.
How?
Woo!
Wow. That okay. I mean, it's good, but I gotta start painting some of those guys.
Yeah, so start selling your flesh terrors, man.
One model
You sell
at a time.
every army but.
I think you need to reevaluate your pricing scheme.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, up now,
That-
number 2.
That's like a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, Ted, you need to charge more.
Yeah.
And then some asshole goes, hey, man, I could charge way less. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Or they had the one where you're trying to sell the army, and it's like that's cheaper than if you just bought the models in the box.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, damn it!
All
So
right.
sad.
So number 2, we have some pro-painted Warhammer 40K Flesh Terrors Sanguinary Guard miniatures.
Oh.
Again, quite pro-painted. Some nice effects on the power swords there.
Okay.
Kind of looks like they
Oh, I
borrowed
like
them
it.
from Titan, from the Grey Knights.
Oh.
But
And there's 5 times as many models in this one.
Those are the
Those are pretty
original
good.
model.
yeah,
I mean,
there's
the
there's
swords
some a little bit of
from-
OSL somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. I really like the gradients that they put on those, like the blues to
Yeah.
grays
Yeah.
and stuff. That's
Yeah.
really.
I think my favorite thing about this segment now is I'll never put up pictures of these. So people will just have to figure out how cool it is.
All right. 200.
200.
Yeah.
Okay, straight up there. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 175.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Phil, you were closest without going over. It was 180.
Oh, I'm on my game today.
Serious.
I'm going to the showcase, baby. I'm going to the showcase.
Ted, I hope you know this means we're not going to be having a flashlight showdown if you keep up like this.
Oh, a sad face.
As I go through and quickly take screenshots of previous miniatures so I can actually post those up there. Okay, so next I have a Flesh Terrors, Blood Angels, Battle Predator with extra weapons, Warhammer 40K.
Where's the short part of this? I'm waiting for the short. Is it like a lowrider? Like, where's the short? They just axed that word, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, well, short wasn't in it.
So this one here, a little less pro-painted.
Oh, yeah, it's kind
Got
of
some nice color blocking going on.
Looks like it might be
The front's a little
there.
misaligned.
did
Front's magnetized.
super gold. They super blinged that thing out.
I like the fact that tracks are gold.
Yeah, gold
because,
tracks.
you know, the softest metal known to man makes really good tracks.
Yeah, well, you get the
They're-
traction.
Well, you have
Oh,
you,
boo!
you have plasteel. This is plas gold. So how much would we pay for this lovely Battle Predator?
85.
You're the fucking worst.
I'm that off, aren't I? Oh my god. All right, Phil, bring it up.
All right,
How much would you pay for that?
I'm gonna say $126.
Okay, you're both awful. $25.
Oh
Wow. I mean, it
Damn.
was bad, but
That's That's cheaper than the damn kit.
So, yeah, seriously.
Let
like,
alone being magnetized.
Because it has been shunned by gold paint.
Oh, that's
you know,
right,
some
dude.
like null oil, and it would have been okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
oh man,
All right.
Wow, that was.
This
yeah.
one gets in from the description alone.
I
We
can't remember
have-
the last time I actually won one of these.
We have. Let me get back to the description here.
Tada would be great at this. He would just. He
Yeah.
would know it.
Tada still sends me eBay links, and I'm like, stop sending me Thunderhawks. I just bought all the Eldar. So I have Forge World, Etched Brass / Chaos / Flesh Terrors / -40k - Warhammer.
What's all the slashes? So
Uh,
they're saying
And this is a picture of the sprue here.
That's
as you
slash
say,
chaos?
It is just a Flesh Terror
Where's
sprue.
that?
There's no
Chaos.
chaos there at all.
I think,
He's-
Phil, you posted this. You know, the Dark Angel Trader jokes.
there was
everywhere.
that
no,
rumor-
it's
yeah,
Flesh
it's like
Terrors
the
now.
flesh tears are chaos.
that was
I'm
that
sorry.
rumor like that was going around like 15 years ago. They were talking about like how Blood Angels are going to become a new Chaos chapter. I wonder if it's like one of those
Really?
guys. He's like a birther, but for like the Blood Angels go Chaos. Show us your birth certificate, Blood Angel.
Show us your gene seed.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got in that time.
Yep.
I'm gonna say $13.
$13. Lucky for some.
7.
No, Phil wins again.
What? Yes.
$16.78.
I'm fine.
I thought it was cheaper on their
$3.50.
website. Oh.
Woo!
Damn it. All right, I gotta go find that one.
I was thrown off by the ball predator. I think the Magnus just threw me off. Messing with my cogitators.
All right.
You-
So we're going to do one last one here.
All right. I better get one
A
right.
Flash Flight Pure Pink Sleeve, the #1 selling in the world.
Oh,
Did you really?
God damn it, John.
How's the paint?
How,
Show us.
Is it pro painted?
so here's a picture right there.
Oh,
Ah,
God.
thank you, John.
It's
Oh,
Is
don't
that-
zoom in.
Is this gonna be the one that I get right? You really had to make it this
it
one.
looks new. I also want to point out that
New
it
inbox.
looks like a rear entrance,
Yeah.
but maybe not a front one.
Yeah, that's the.
And ironically, though, the box is labeled as pure.
Oh.
that one is the White Star Bomber.
Oh. So Ted, how much would you pay for this flashlight?
Seth does Dallas.
$30.
$30. Okay.
I don't know.
Phil, you know the thing I love most about this is the
I
fact that I get
lose
to
regardless. Like if I get,
I get to say,
win this,
Yes.
Phil, how much would you pay for this flashlight?
I
I would not pay anything for this. But
Well,
if I was,
you kind of have to tell me how much you'd
all
pay
right,
for
so
it.
if I were you and I was searching for a flashlight,
And I was looking for a White
eBay,
Star.
and I was looking for the White Star bomber.
It's got capacity
I'm gonna
1,
say
possibly 2.
$65. I don't know how these things.
How
these
you
things are.
I
I don't know. I've never got
No,
searching.
I'm not
for-
laughing at you.
Oh.
I'm laughing at John. He's like capacity of 2.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh,
The world's
no.
worth Chinese finger trap.
And my mind just goes back to boot camp.
yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to leave it. We all lose on that one.
There we go.
Oh,
Thank God.
Oh,
you got saved.
oh, that was, yeah. Oh.
Ted's was like on the nose. He's like, I'm not gonna do that to him.
Like mental,
I
no,
can-
$50,
No.
$49.99.
What
So
was
Ted
your-
was closest without going over.
It's all right. I got no soul.
Ted was cool without going over the anus.
Ayo.
Oh, well, I apologize to
man, my
our
jaw
less
hurts.
liberal countries who might not like that. Pictures will be going up of all of those except for the bonus round.
Thank God.
We just lost our listener in
We're-
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, our Saudi Arabia listenership and our North Korean listener is gone. But we'll be. I'll
But
post
for
up
some
pictures of
reason,
all of
Japan has just skyrocketed.
I take 5.
I have to say, we make fun of pro painted, but all of those look really good. Like all of the pro
yeah,
painted.
they look really good. Those were actually pro painted.
Minus the ball predator. Did that one say pro painted?
No, yeah, it did not. It was
Okay.
just about Predator.
All right.
So yeah, that was like your little throwing you off the scent there.
Yeah.
But I'll throw all the pictures up there. I will say, we're going to be positive. The Bow Predator, he did a great job of magnetizing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what threw me off.
Yeah.
I overestimated.
And he's
Null oil.
he is
Null
about my
oil.
level of paint without null oil, which is liquid talent.
Liquid talent. Seriously, that stuff is worth its weight in gold.
All right, we're gonna take
It's worth his weight in gold treads.
we're gonna take a
Blink,
quick.
blink.
Yeah, blink, blink. Crickets. It's like, wonk, wonk. Okay, all right, we're good.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're seeing no more books. No, we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk real quick about A Son's Burden. Not our literal son's burdens, Ted. They will have to bear. Our own children have to bear those.
I have to
Their
say,
burden is being your children.
I have to say, like, the way we're, like, dragging out this book review, it really does feel like clickbait. Like, here's a little taste, but we're not going to show you what Mama June Bug Jones looks like 100 pounds lighter until the end.
Well, you know,
Psych, we're not even going to talk about it.
well, you know, I did click on a Spiky Bits article, which was like, "Want to get more clicks on your podcast? Find out how here." And then you go in and be like, "Be entertaining," and I'm like, "Well, shit, I can't do that." So it's like the new
It would have been
slogan.
funny if they said just exactly what I just did. How do you get more clicks on your podcast? By doing what I just did.
God, so many salt boxes for Spiky Bits. All right, we will be back. We're going to talk about Son's Burden. We're going to get our Flash Terrors on. And yeah, I'm excited. I like it.
Guys, does this sound familiar to you?
Not tonight, honey. I have a headache.
Of course it doesn't. You're a miniature wargamer. You haven't seen a lady till you're already a man. But if some down on her luck dame finds her way into your home,
Daddy didn't love me.
beat the excuse with generic aspirin, now made with 3% less animal bones. Generic aspirin. 3 million dead lab animals can't be wrong.
That was in reference to something completely unrelated.
Oh, but
That's
they
the
got
other
it.
podcast.
Yeah.
They got it. That's it for Hentai Hour. Right in the center of mob rules here.
But
Pushing
the
up
Glacial
zero
Geek,
numbers.
Geek videos will be better after this.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
We've asked Phil to insert
Easter egg.
just you know, like in Fight Club, they like did that thing where Brad Pitt would like splice in a penis in kids' movies, just like one frame, just splice in hentai.
Just one frame.
Every
at a
time you
time.
roll a one, just
A
hentai.
tentacle runs up.
Tentacle, yeah.
Tentacle cocks
Yeah.
all over.
So Son's Burden. Ted, why don't you tell us about Son's Burden?
It's damn shame. It's damn crying shame. So it was a short story written
Oh,
for
it was spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah, super spoilers.
super
'cause We're
spoilers.
going to talk about literally everything.
Shield of Ball. It was Andy Smillie again. And
It seems like the go-to Flash Terrors guy
Yeah,
for
he's-
Black Library.
he's on it. So I think it was a bunch of scouts, but it was kind of neat. It was kind of ambiguous as to like what exactly they were at first, but and I think it was a story that kind of went back and forth between the scouts and the Marines as they pushed forward into a chaos encampment or a chaos line.
Yeah, Seth, Chapter Master Seth, good old Sethy boy, Seth Rollins was back, pinned down by the enemy artillery. So they sent a couple squads of scouts forward to clear out the artillery. Before we start, something I really, really liked about this story was they never said chaos. And then generally in Black Library stuff, they never say
They
chaos.
don't say chaos.
They say
arch
arch heretic. So
Arch enemy in this.
well, yeah, and
Arch enemy.
then because the regular guys were heretics, and then these other guys were arch
Okay.
enemies. Yeah, you know, so it was kind of like it was easy to tell, and I love that no one says chaos, and I've just noticed that from the short story.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. That is
no
kinda
one says
neat.
chaos. They're arch enemy.
Hmm.
I think
I
Inquisitors.
mean, I
be
got
like,
that in this one, but in other books as well. Huh?
I've seen a lot of it where it's just arch enemy, the arch
Yeah,
enemy,
Inquisitors will say
the
chaos.
arch enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, that kind of goes along with the Imperium in general. Don't they kind of like keep the chaos on a mums?
Yeah.
Like they try not to talk about it to the commoner.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's just the arch enemy.
Okay.
I don't know what calling chaos is any different, but yeah, I
Yeah.
really
That's why
like
they're heretics.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Fallen to chaos, they're
really,
just heretics.
really like this story again. It was like
Yeah, me too.
something I'm fighting with these short stories. I mean, I know I give some people a hard time when like, oh, we're gonna do a short story, huh? Was how descriptive the format allows them to be.
Mhm.
You know, they're not like, okay, 400. No, I think random Black Library. Like I picked up Praetorian of Dorne, the latest Horus Heresy. It's
Okay.
like 410 pages, which is kind of like the standard Black Library size. Or Beast of Rises,
Which you
books.
read while you're on the shitter.
No, I started
Being the
reading
super
it.
mutant
One
that you
sitting,
are.
yeah.
I got about 100 pages in, and then I was like,
After
oh wait.
a lot of fruit, but it was still one sitting.
It's like, oh shit, that's right. I have to read these two short stories. So I went back and did that. But it's kind of having this smaller format with kind of very specific goals. You don't have to worry about the huge story arc
Yeah.
or kind of keeping attention. You're very focused on what it is you're doing, and both of the ones we read to do were able to do that without kind of worrying about, why they were there, what they were necessarily there doing, why they were sent there. We didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
It was just like watching the scene from The Protector where he runs up and does like the single shot all the way up the staircase. It's fucking cool out of context.
I think maybe hold off. Okay, so maybe in a way, I think like this one did have like a weird context, but it was kind of weird. It was like backwards instead of like being like a why are we here? It was like why are we leaving? But
sure.
yeah, so I thought that was kind of neat. I mean, it was
I thought that was really, really interesting.
This was the prologue to something else.
Yeah, this was essentially for me the prologue to Shield of Bell. And about the kind of the 2 campaign books. We're going to talk about those next time, a little bit about it, but kind of explaining how the Flash Terrors got involved in the Shield of Bell campaign.
So real quick, if you've listened to NGC 40K, stop listening to them so that you hear this from us first.
Are they covering that too now?
I think they just wrapped it up like a couple episodes ago. But yeah,
oh man, well, for in-depth actual commentary on it, for bad dick jokes, stay here. Like
twice the dick jokes, half the information.
Well, like I said on our new Facebook header that I typed up real quick, was the number 1 in dick jokes, number 32 for information,
which is being generous.
But the way the scouts were portrayed was awesome to me, and it was too. Peter from NGC 40K who recommended this book because we're like, hey man, I really want to read a story about scouts. And this one kind of came forward. What I really liked was the kind of the struggle that the scouts had between their kind of Space Marine duties and then their scout duties, and being Flesh Terrors. So like when they smell blood, they turned into like freaking like Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Yeah, because they're still dealing with they're newly dealing with this gene seed.
Right, and it's always funny when you like hear Space Marines talk about like newly this. He's like, I've only been a scout for 100 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Fuck, I'm not gonna live 100 years. But yeah, so that was kind of neat. Like where it was like they're taking some of their tribal roots. They're also like they have their new like the frailties of being a Space Marine. Odd to think of those frailties, but their inadequacies, like the rage and.
And still the sense of humanity that they still have.
Yeah,
like, there was that scene with the family that were being surrounded by the Ark heretics, and they they wanted to do something to stop them, but they were like, if we do that, we're going to get into a protracted battle that's going to keep us from doing our mission. We just got to sit back, and they watched as this family just gets murdered, like just shot apart.
I kind of love that about like stories like this, and going back to like the Wrath of Iron, where in like the Wrath of Iron, the thing I liked that was that we if you'd lost the cover to your book, you wouldn't know that it was against chaos. But like there really wasn't like discussion of chaos. It was the mutants and so on, and like for the longest time, you can almost go without like. It can almost be like just adding up and eventually like, oh wait,
for sure.
And I think like this was kind of the same thing. It's like we never really knew what their mission was till the end. We never really knew exactly what they're doing. All we knew is like these scouts were going in somewhere like just ninja style. I mean, you had like their specialist sniper who was part of the team, and maybe he was like a second team.
Sniper squad, and he was like the specialist with them. Yeah,
and then you had like these guys were going in like Rambo style and like Chuck Norris and like trying to take care of it. I think going back to like what you were saying about how they or I guess it was John like talked about like how they were like fighting with their inner turmoil. I love that scene like where one of them was like he saw like one guy was really upset, like he was mad that another one was able to kill because he needed that release is what he called it. And then like a few moments later, a buddy of his in the same squad just starts like he gets the black rage all of a sudden, like here's this new scout, and like I kind of get the impression that this happens as you're a scout, like probably as they're weeding through the chaff, like weeding through the weak, and he starts to get the black rage, and the guy's like, no, check yourself, and it's just like it's obvious that he's just succumbed, and like like the first thought I had was like a friend of mine was telling me about how we go scuba diving. He often carries a knife with him because he's afraid that like the people that you go scuba diving with, if you start to go down deep enough, like you can get like oxygen like deprived, and like you can go crazy and like just try to clamor to get up, and sometimes like scuba divers will attack each other. So he's like, sometimes you carry that knife so you can kill the other scuba diver to save your own life. Like
Damn.
it's kind of a shitty thing. And like
That's
that was
why
my
I don't
impression too. Is like,
scuba
damn, that's fucked up. But
Yes,
on the other hand,
yeah,
it's like, is that really necessary?
Yeah.
Like you could just play video games.
yeah,
Go get your Sega Genesis and play Flipper.
yeah.
So, but here it
No
was
one's
like,
had to stab me yet because I've painted a model.
but he goes like,
Yeah.
Yes.
and so this veteran or this scout captain like guts his teammate. He's like, well, shit. Like once again,
Yeah.
like he's gonna give up our position. We got to get rid
Well,
of
that's
this
the thing
guy.
is like he hears like a slight growl and he looks over and he sees the rage coming in his eyes and he's like, hold it together, and then the guy lets loose like another growl and he's like, shit, and then just stabs him. And it's like, oh damn. And it's obvious from the context that that's not the first time he's had to do that to a scout.
Yeah.
Like this has happened before, and that he's like he's a veteran scout sergeant. He's the guy that's supposed to lead these guys through this, and that's not the first time that a scout has succumbed to the rage.
I think he looked over at like one of the other scouts who was close friends with the guy he just
Yeah.
got, and his friend is like upset, but he could tell that he wasn't upset at the captain. He was upset at like the guy who just succumbed
For
to
not
the
being
rage.
strong
So it's
enough
like,
they're holding it. Yeah.
yeah. So this is something that happens. Like it's
Yeah.
you
And this
know.
kind of also goes back to what we were talking about the honor thing,
Mhm.
where he wasn't upset that his friend was killed. He was upset that his friend wasn't like had besmirched his honor and almost given away the unit by giving in to the weakness of the gene seed. So yeah, along the same lines, like where you'd think that if your best friend just got stabbed in the gut, that you'd be pissed that your friend just got stabbed in the gut. It's like no, he's pissed that his friend growled and got stabbed in the gut.
And this is a chapter that, of all the successor chapters, they succumb more often to the Black Rage than any others. And like, I think the chapter is down to like 400 guys, like last time I checked. So it's a dying chapter,
which
for
is
the most
kind
part.
of ironic since later in this story.
I was going to say it's kind of obvious about why they're
Yeah,
dying.
I was gonna say.
Something I thought was super neat was with the scouts. When the scouts died, they cut out their tongues so they couldn't tell ghosts where they were.
And this was the old tribal thing.
Yeah.
from Cretaceous.
And then so there's a
home
scout, the scout sergeant going around with a necklace of tongues.
Yeah.
Which personally I thought would feel just fucking disgusting. on your neck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I could think about was the
Slap,
feeling
slap,
of
slap,
like
slap.
10 or 15 tongues slapping against your neck. But they're cold.
Yeah.
And clammy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that was my overriding impression of the story. I have to say was the song.
Yeah, John's big takeaway is tongues on his neck.
Hey,
It goes back to band camp.
Yeah, it always does.
let's talk about kind of like the B story on this one. So our A story here is we have our scouts moving through the town, trying to get to the enemy artillery and kind of shut it down so that the main force can advance. There's also some scenes back with the main force where we have some Imperial Guard and then a couple of kind of upper flesh terrors. You have Gabriel Seth and then one of his advisors, his name escapes me.
The chaplain guy, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. And they're kind of...
It was almost like Apollo or something, but it wasn't Apollo. Apollos or something.
But they're waiting
Apollo
there
Antonio.
for the...
Okay.
impatiently waiting there for the scouts to kind of do their thing so they can finish up the mission. And that's when...
Somewhat patiently.
Yeah.
Not very
Yeah.
patiently.
and well,
bickering
patiently
back
for
and
a
forth.
flesh terror.
Yeah.
It was like an episode of Clerks going on in
Yeah.
the background.
Apollos.
Okay.
Apollos was his name.
Yeah, that was good.
But I really enjoyed kind of the talking in these scenes here. Kind of again, for me who doesn't know huge amounts of flesh terrors, it really characterized the chapter as a whole with these conversations.
Yeah.
Again, they're massive assholes. That's their outlining trait. But it's when kind of their relationship with their daddy chapter, which I didn't know up until reading this is not the best. Why, Dad?
Well, it in a lot of ways, I think like the flesh terrors get a bad rap. Like they've gotten a bad rap on the battlefield. They've gotten a bad rap everywhere. In a way, like I mean, they do succumb to the rage a lot more than everybody else. And I think that for a chapter who's, I mean, that's their secret, like whatever it is the Dark Angels, Black Angels are hiding, the flesh terrors have like their own thing, and that's like it's their gene seed. So naturally, like I mean, you can't have that. Like it's the telltale weakness.
I mean, the Sisters of Battle, if they see them, they'll attack them. I mean,
Thankfully, no one will see Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Yeah,
Diesel.
I was reading another short story in like the Space Marine Omnibus, and it was about the flesh terrors, and like one of the guys who had succumbed to the Black Rage had escaped, and they were hunting this guy down and all of a sudden they came across like these Sisters of Battle, and they were like, the Sisters of Battles were like, oh damn, and then they started attacking them, and it was a pretty brutal, really good short story. But yeah, it was sort of like the thing where it's like, we know what you did to us at that battle, because they flash back to like this scene at this place where the Sisters of Battle were holding a city, and the Flesh Tearers came and like liberated them, like got to the city and like took out the enemy that had been sieging them. And then as they got to the walls, they just kept going and just slaughtered the whole city.
Once that boulder starts rolling,
yeah, exactly, couldn't stop it. They just all succumbed to like the rage, and it was like, oh damn.
But what happens in Sun's Burden? With
back to the Commissar John back again
with Seth and Apollos.
Yeah,
was that Dante with the Blood Angels called and said they needed to return to Baal right away. And Seth's plan was just to leave and return to Baal right away, leaving the 3 or so squads of scouts. Yeah, we don't care about you anymore. And, I just came to mind was the entire guard regiment as well that were waiting there.
Yeah.
Well, they talk about the guard regiment, that when they made the decision to leave, they just started killing themselves because they were in such a predicament that they couldn't handle the bombardment of the archenemy that was coming after them. And they have like that scene in there where it's like they cut back and it's like, a bunch of them are just crying and weeping in a corner. They've given up, and like other ones had already shot themselves in the head because they knew without the Flesh Tearers there that they were just going to be slaughtered.
Which is great because they would have been slaughtered if the Flesh Tearers were there.
Apparently,
yeah. By a different blade.
Yeah.
But it's something where Apollos is not happy with the decision to go.
Oh, that's a great. I think like Flesh Tearers do teen angry drama really well. Like
I said, I got a heavy Twilight feel from Flesh Tearers. But no, Apollos said, where we hear Dante calls and you come running.
Yeah.
To which Sneth replies, pressing his forehead against Apollos's.
Yeah.
The years we have stood together, brother, the blood we have spilled together, those things have bought you your life this day. Seth punched his fists in Sanguinary's name. If you ever speak to me in such a manner again, I will kill you.
Yeah.
And this is a guy he's known for decades, centuries.
Yeah.
And he just like gives him one burn because he doesn't agree. And he just, dude, now all I can imagine is how awkward that posing is actually. Because if he has his forehead on the guy like that, and then he punches fists like that, then it's a weird angle. But yeah,
there's hardly any room there. But
yeah,
but yeah, it's kind of, again, it goes to show really the Flesh Tearer personality really well, because in that scene they're both assholes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was literally the whole time everyone that was on there was an asshole, because they also even talked about other regular Marine troopers there being like pissed off that they had to deal with the human troopers, like the human guardsmen there, and they're ducking at this cover, and we all know that we can't get hit because they've been shooting at us for like the last 9 hours, and every time it comes they always duck. What's the point of ducking if you can't get hit anyway?
Come on, guys, we've had centuries of training for this.
Yeah, exactly. And they there's superhumans in like these superhuman suits, and there's these regular dude bros in a jacket, and like, yeah, I'm gonna freaking duck too, even if I'm not gonna get hit by the shell. I'm gonna be scared as all hell. Like, that's ridiculous.
So I think my favorite part in the story is when the scouts make it to the artillery battery.
So then we find out what their objective is at this point.
Yeah. So they get to the artillery battery. They're going to go and destroy the artillery battery.
The descriptions of the artillery battery was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was super cool.
With chains barely, like, struggling to hold down the armament, and faces, like the ends of the guns were like faces, vomiting out our artillery shells,
and the machines would start to eat like the crews, like manning them. Yeah. It was just like the crews are just screaming out in agony as like the machines like consume them, and it's like
they're all like Demon Forge.
Yeah, Demon Forge stuff. It's like, that's brutal. That's metal as hell right there.
So then the scouts get there, John.
The scouts get there, and it has the scout that gets there to delay the charges. That's just, to me, the most ninja fight scene ever.
Now, this isn't a regular scout. This is a scout captain.
Yeah.
So he's like Tillion.
Oh, yeah. So the scout captain gets
You can't actually have a scout captain in the game because they're that awesome.
They would break the game.
Yeah.
They would solo a Wraith Knight.
Okay, baby steps here. Here is a Primarch.
Yeah. You just kind of...
Scout captain later.
Scout captain, anything but a 1 and you're removed from play. And you're like, you rolled a 1. Oh, that means your entire army dies. But his move is, like, the way they describe his fighting is, like, he doesn't use his own weapon. He just kind of, he like, hits a guy's face into one thing, grabs another guy's gun, does all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's a really great descriptor, like, throughout all of it. Then after he secures all the charges, people kind of radio in and be like, "Oh yeah, hey, you got a shitload of Chaos Space Marines. Oh, I'm sorry, arch enemies coming in there. You have more bad guys than bullets coming at you." And so he sets off the bomb, and he kind of blows himself up, which was again metal as hell. Takes everyone out with him.
Flies through the air, lands on the ground, and he's like, his buddy comes up like, "Yo, dog, we did it. By the way, what?
You have half of a gun in your midsection."
Oh.
And that's when they get.
But he's like, "I'll be fine though. Once we get me on there, like the apothecary will take care of me, and I'll be good to go." It's like, yeah, it sucks right now, but I'm not gonna die. I'll be fine. And then it's like, beep beep. He gets this text message.
Yeah, he radios to Seth, and he's like, "Hey, boss, we did it. Hello, boss, we did it." And then I think Seth replies just super cold, like, "Yeah, we don't care about that anymore. We're leaving the planet."
Yeah, we're already on our way. We got a call that we have to go back to Ball. We're already on the Thunderhawk. We're out of here. Peace. And the guy's like,
"Oh, here we go. It's we have destroyed the enemy artillery position." I continue. "You are free to move up and engage the main enemy formation. We are not coming.
That's it. We're not coming.
We are already ascending to orbit." And he just says, "I understand."
Yeah, that's it. And then
I just think that Seth replies, "Yeah, we're not coming. I'm already leaving the planet."
Yeah,
We got bored of this.
yeah. Then you have the most.
Did you
metal
see
of
the
scenes.
was it the Black Friday TV sale
the
at
Dark
Best Buy?
Dark
We're gonna
Friday.
go hit that real quick.
Yeah, the Dark
see you
Friday
in
TV
20, right?
The Dark Friday
Dark Friday.
TV.
Dark Friday.
I go to work
buy
every Dark
best.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Seth's the kind of guy who leaves the planet to go to Baal to help out the Blood Angels. Leaves his probably 20 to 30 Space Marine troops behind to die, loses the Gene Seed, but finds enough time to stop for a coffee on the way.
Yeah, he's like, let's stop at that space Starbucks over there. On our way.
Space Bucks.
Space Bucks, yeah.
Crunch. 20% off on the TV? Oh,
Yeah.
Crunch. That's not bad. Crunch.
Yeah, exactly.
2, please.
So again, for this one here, I mean, I think we covered a lot of the points earlier in the shorter story. I'm sorry, Ted, on you go.
Yeah, I just like that. I think that interchange, though, I think it goes back to, I think, like the sense of honor, though, that they had. Because I think there was, like, you know, he did go through the radio communication where he was saying that, you know, like, hey, we're not going to come. But there was, like, this weird sense. I think, like, at first he kind of grappled with it, like, oh, that dick. But then he had, like, a sense of, like, understanding. It was like,
Yeah.
Okay,
And he knew if he was, like, crying about it, that would be, like, really look bad, and they weren't going to turn around anyway to pick him up. So what was the point?
And the team and everything were just like, okay, well, I mean, if that's what makes sense to you, then cool, man.
Yeah,
Sweet. Hey, hand me the heavy bolter. I'll take these guys out as I die.
yeah. And then he's like, oh, but before you leave, let me just give you this. He cuts out his own damn tongue
with a power sword.
Like, was it a power sword?
I thought it was a chain sword.
Whatever it was.
Oh.
I'm sure it was a power
Cuts
sword.
out
I heard
his
something about
own
the flicker of
damn-
the field.
Cuts out his own damn tongue, gives it to the dude, and he's like, you know, and then holds a heavy bolter so he could just
By
shoot
the way,
it.
And
I
then
would
he
like to-
runs away as his necklace is like...
Yeah, it's just like,
I would like to point out
Right
that
against his neck.
a scout captain needs a power sword in order to cut his tongue out. Just want to point that out. That's how awesome he is.
Oh, the other thing that they did in this book that was awesome is they were starting to get overcome with a decaying smell. So they cut themselves under their nose so they could smell blood.
Yeah,
and then
to focus their...
themselves.
I imagine there's like a ton of those cuts.
Brutal. I just want to say that Space Marines instantly heal any cuts so they don't bleed as much, so the smell would be minimal.
oh, John Nerd, get out of here.
No, but it was a metal as hell scene. It was a really good thing as well. The only thing, and I think it's kind of ruined the story a little bit for me, I would put this one a little below the Dax Shepard story. Is the end to me where the planetary governor, kind of the guy, goes up to a Chaos Thunderhawk, and he goes inside and he finds the kind of the Chaos Warlord sitting on his throne. He's like, "Master, the Flesh Terrors are retreating. We can take over the world now." And he's like, "No, the fact that he had to run away and leave his people behind is enough for me." And I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, they're like, we're out of here.
We're out of here. Yeah, we made him feel bad about a thing he did.
Yeah, we're good. We don't give a
We're
shit about this
leaving.
place. Yeah, we're out of here. We made him feel
We just wanted to
bad.
make Seth feel bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
The arch emo tics.
I mean, I understand we were trying to put more like pain and suffering on Seth and trying, like, oh yeah, that's why he's an asshole, is because of all of this
It's the
stuff.
emo legion over there.
Yeah, the emo legion.
I kind of wonder, like, I meant to look this guy up, like, whether or not that, what was his name? Decan? Descartes.
Descartes. Descartes.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see like if he showed up in something else because I kind of got the impression that it was like a quick little tease, like,
Yeah.
all right, this guy's gonna
Kind of
pop
like
up
at the end of
later
a Marvel movie when like another character
Yeah.
shows up. It's such. I can't get over. I mean, it's good. Like the descriptions are great, the characterizations are great. The reason for leaving was just not there for me. Just yeah.
I think the reason for leaving was there, and I think that goes into showing a lot of the successor chapters. You know, you see that in a lot of things.
No,
like
no,
when
no.
the-
I understand Seth leaving.
Oh, okay.
The Chaos
Oh,
Forces.
yeah.
Yes, we've sacrificed some of our 10,000-year-old Space Marine soldiers and lost their power armor, but we shall leave now because Seth feels awful.
Well, it may not be that he feels awful. Maybe part of it is that at this point, if there aren't going to be Space Marines there for them to fight, the planet doesn't mean shit to them. You know, it's like it's not worth it to them at that point. It's like the whole reason for them being there, it's not worth it to them. You know,
Yeah, that's a much better
it's
reason.
like when you show up to like a local tournament and I'm not there. You're like, well, fuck it, I'm out.
Well, I'm not going to get my win
Phil's
now.
not here.
So, yeah,
Phil's not here. I'm out. It's not worth it anymore.
Well, that's right. I think it depends, like whether or not Dakar,
Dakar.
yeah, like whether or not like he shows up later on.
Descartes,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
if he's the one, if he's like following Seth,
Yeah.
like that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe it's like an Alpha Legion
we were
thing
just
where
here
they're
to
just
fuck
like,
with them.
yeah,
and
they're
then
just
we're
they're
gonna keep
just
fucking-
pestering like
so yeah,
the
guys,
flesh tears
let
over and
let
over
us
again.
know, Black Library nerds who listen to us. Thank you. But let us know, does Dick Hard show up in any more fluff? And see if we can't follow Dick Hard through the galaxy.
I thought I
If
was
he-
just
if-
mishearing
Yeah,
you.
if he think,
Thank you.
if he thinks about penises, therefore he is a penis.
Well, I'm assuming it was a Slanesh version of the Black Legion, or the Dark Legion. I'm sorry, I'm messing,
The Dark Legion. Go on, get your shit.
messing,
right.
messing up my own.
Keep it
jokes.
together here, John.
I would recommend purchasing the book.
I would.
Yeah, that
This
was a
one I
really
would
good one.
recommend. It's totally worth the money. For
I
this
would
one.
recommend purchasing it on iTunes without the Shield of Bal sticker, though, because apparently,
Yeah,
according
apparently
to,
it's cheaper.
apparently
Oh
according
no,
to
no, no! The Shield of Ball one. The Shield of Ball one was the cheaper one, right? Isn't that what you said?
Shoot.
No, no.
Or Ted?
Whichever one it was that you guys.
There's
didn't
two on
guess.
there. One of them's
Yeah,
cheaper.
yeah.
Take the cheaper
So
one.
Yeah,
Phil and I,
so
we
the Shield of Ball one was $1 cheaper.
oh, I bought that one.
It was $3.99.
Me too.
Yeah.
The Black Library was not. It was $4.99.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
buy from iTunes.
Bye.
There we go.
But yeah, $4.99 from Black Library, $3.99 from iTunes, or maybe I don't know, maybe Ted got it on Scribed for $1. But no, it was a really good read. Like I said, I
I
really,
just uploaded a whole bunch of work documents and was able to get it for free.
I really enjoy the short stories and what they accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they get to accomplish a lot in a small space of time. They don't have to worry about a lot of big picture stuff.
Yeah.
They can focus more on that one squad where I might not want to read about kind of one scout squad for 420 pages about them making their way to an
almost definitely
artillery
wouldn't.
thing.
Yeah.
I really like how they can do it. And the two that I read for this, they do a hell of a lot to characterize the chapter. They do a lot to characterize kind of the interaction between the chapter and humanity, scouts and marines, all that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this one. Don't wait for an anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was good.
This one was really
And
good.
I think
Although it
priced
is an
properly.
anthology, so
It's in an anthology?
yeah, it's an anthology.
Is it in an anthology with Dak Shepard? Because then I'll be mad.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, John, did you make us buy separate books and we could have gotten into the damn anthology?
Probably. Yeah. All right. Well, that was Sun's Burden. It was an excellent book about scouts,
Yes.
and I learned that Flash Terrors are
Dicks.
kind of emo,
To everyone, themselves. to
emo Twilight
everybody.
dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
They
kinda
shop
curious.
up.
I think like I've read his first book, and then like now I kind of want to go back and like check to see what else he's.
Oh.
Yeah. Excellent writer.
I know
Seriously.
he has
Yeah,
a couple
very, very
other
good.
full
Very
length.
good.
Like his stuff.
I got to ask the question that I'm going to ask after every book, though. How many Imperial Fists died in this book?
I think there
Well,
was that
because
one
there was-
scene where the guy like walked in. He was like, "Hey, everybody, I'm an Imperial Fist." Instantly
Who ordered
dead.
this pizza?
Yeah, who ordered this pizza? Instantly dead. Instantly dead.
Well, who was the archenemy? I mean, maybe it was a
Oh
whole bunch of.
maybe it was a bunch of Imperial Fists
yeah.
who forgot to clean their armor. No.
I can't hit the wrong button far enough for that. Just because they didn't specify who the arch enemy was. Must be Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
No,
Just for you.
just for
I
me.
mean,
122
Book
died.
as intended or book as written, you can't tell. They could be. They could be.
No, but no Imperial Fist died in this book here. Damn it, yeah. Maybe next book. Like I said, our current death toll sits at 1,099 brave souls. Well, I guess.
There wasn't even a reference in here, was there?
There was no reference.
Wow.
Like in
now that's worse than
Yeah, like
gonna-
weren't even picked for the
just
dance.
ignored
Yeah,
it.
just
Yeah,
ignored
just
it. At
ignored
least
it.
Wrath of Iron had a
Hey,
statue.
Yeah.
In the never-ending story, not being talked about or not being dreamed about killed the entire non-reality.
That's a great.
So maybe all of the Imperial Fist died. 'Cause
So
they weren't being
because we
referenced.
didn't read
that's a great way to end the segment is with a never-ending story reference.
That was good, man.
That was
Yeah,
good.
it did.
That was
Like a little
harmonious.
harmonizing. That's like the best sound quality you're going to get this entire podcast. It's us harmonizing over
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Phil, you have some traveling to do.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to send you on report.
All right, let me go pack
Yeah,
up then.
go pack up.
Hey, those are my chips.
Man, my old lady's so moody right now. I hate that time of the month.
Not me. I buy generic tampons. They clean up all that gross lady stuff, and she's happy because we've saved money.
Wow, generic tampons. I'll have to give those a try.
Damn, I can't believe I lost another game. All of my dice are rolling once.
Quit the whining, man. You should change your cotton.
Another rending hit! Thanks, generic brand tampons.
Generic brand tampons, not just for ladies. For a limited time, send in 6 applicator sticks for a free dice bag.
Well, Ted, I think the last thing I kind of want to go over is there's some new Chaos releases coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just kind of got the leaks coming out this weekend. Got some new
Right.
formations, new rules. So we sent
What was the Plaguekin, right?
the Plaguekin?
The Plaguekin book? It was the new Plague Marines book.
Yeah,
That's
that
coming
must
out, yeah.
Oh, I get it now. The Plaguekin, the Nurgle Plaguekin.
Yeah.
Though I did see someone made a Nurgle conversion of Karn the Betrayer, and
Uh.
like my only comment to him was like, "You missed out on an opportunity to call him Karn the Decayer." And then I went across the other gods, and you had Karn the Fillator for Slanesh, and then about it. Anyway,
Yeah.
we wanted to learn some more about this, so we sent our own senior Chaos correspondent, Phil Hall,
With my ships.
with his ships to Nottingham, and
With
when he
my
doesn't
chips.
laugh into the microphone, it makes it more believable. But we sent him to
I can adjust the volumes
GWHQ.
later on. Not that he
Okay,
did,
good.
but he didn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't
That's
do
fine.
that, but we could if it was. But we sent him over to
ruin a bit.
GWHQ in Nottingham to kind of get some more information about the kind of the reaction to this final, because
Yeah.
people have been bitching about Chaos updates for years.
Right.
And they just
Sterling.
haven't happened. Sterling.
Yeah.
And they haven't happened. But now they're getting those updates. So let's kind of throw over to Phil and see what's happening over there in Nottingham. Phil, are you there?
John, Ted, are you guys coming in?
Yeah, there's a lot of gunfire. Are you
we-
there with Bill O'Reilly?
No.
Did
no
you have
Bill
a
O'Reilly.
layover in Iraq?
No. I'm here in Nottingham. It's Total War here. But
Oh,
not
the
like
new Warhammer game.
No, not like the new Warhammer game. Not good like that. Not like the role-playing game. This is just actual Total War over here.
So what happened? What do you see?
Well, when I first approached, I was thinking that I would just see a bunch of Chaos fans getting all excited to have this new supplement. But then I realized that the banners that the crowds were carrying were actually Sisters of Battle banners.
Oh.
Apparently they're very, very upset that they got overlooked. Whoa! They're just
Are you
very
sure that's not
overlooked.
just John's daughter's bedroom that you
It-
see?
I mean, it may be
Okay,
that, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure that
Ted, I'm going to ask
that
you
this
not
is-
to break the visuals.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I'm not in Anchorage right now. I'm definitely in Nottingham.
So Phil, were you able to point out to them that the Void Shield generator they complained about being limited edition is no longer limited edition? That the Chaos they complained about that is now updated.
They didn't care about that. They just wanted Sisters of Battle. I talked to a GW representative, and apparently this battle has been raging for years at this point. Any picture that you've seen of their headquarters without this battle going on was just very well photoshopped.
So, are there any protests or maybe like an angry squat faction?
I
Any
can't really
squats?
see over the crowd. They might be very short in the background. But as far as I can tell, this is mostly just angry sisters people here. Just very, very upset that they didn't get a new codex. And like I said, the GW rep said that this has been going on for years now, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. So,
All right, well, disappointing, but Phil Hall, Nottingham, thank you.
yeah, no problem. I'm going to try to survive and get back in one piece.
Okay, well, we'll see you in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Wow, that was some interesting stuff. It seems to
Wow,
be
how-
like no one's ever really happy with what happens.
Yeah, I mean, one release, now all of a sudden they demand another release.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, hey. I think the UPS guy's
hey,
here.
hey, I'm back.
Oh.
I'm back.
Okay, sweet.
Hey,
Thank God for pre-tapes.
I know. Whew, man, that was close. Close there.
Oh, man. So, yeah,
So how was it? I mean,
Yeah.
what was it like?
I mean, utter chaos.
You
it was
looked
just
like
it was utter chaos. I'm sorry. No, I'm
Oh.
sorry. It was utter arch enemy out there,
Oh, okay,
and
thank you.
it just really devolved out there. And I mean, I talked to one Sisters of Battle fan out there, and they said that it was very sexist that GW hadn't put it out there, and that they wanted a trigger warning on the next Chaos release that came out. So. Yeah.
So
Triggered.
Were these by any chance the same people that were angry that some sculpts didn't have big enough boobs?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
It was
okay.
mostly neckbeards out there.
Oh, okay. So they were
Because anyone who's not a neckbeard apparently is still very happy with their models. They just
Yeah.
enjoy running their
I
wives.
did hear the
surprise,
chant.
surprise. People enjoy just running the armies that they like.
okay.
Who
I
knew?
did hear the chant of, what do we want? Chairs. When do we want them? Pretty soon.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good chant.
That's great.
Okay.
I imagine just like the cleanup of Mountain Dew cans is like horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh, no Mountain Dew in the
yeah,
UK.
there's Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
There is zero Mountain Dew in the UK.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Really?
that
I could
it
never
doesn't.
live there.
How did all?
It would be either Lucozade.
Oh.
That's a popular drink.
I thought
over there.
Lucozade was like Gatorade. No,
Yeah, but it's fizzy.
fizzy Gatorade.
It's carbonated Gatorade, pretty much.
God, my dad's
What a- what a-
British, but that
what a world we live in.
Man, that's awful.
I gotta ask your dad about that.
I was gonna say,
Why
uh,
haven't
You guys have really good candy. I gotta give you
bottles of Ribena strewn
that.
everywhere.
Oh my god. Yeah, any drink that I have to put into a glass and then add water to, I'm not. I mean,
What?
That's what you have to do with all that.
It's
So-
like Crystal Light.
Ribena.
So-
no, it's like
no.
Ribena. It's a bottle of drink,
You watch your fucking mouth about Ribena. It's delicious.
and you pour it like half your glass in there. And then you pour water for the rest of the glass because it's just like a super concentrated.
This sounds like it's just like an
juice.
alcohol mixer.
No,
That's
no.
what it
well,
kinda
okay,
It's like
so
intentions.
It's
So-
like this, it's like you have to be an alchemist just to get like a drink.
my parents bring me a bottle over every year when they come and visit me.
Okay.
So I will let you have some. To your point, though, Ted, my favorite
Before
use
he
of
gets angry and
Ribena
starts
It is
punching
for
me.
vodka.
Yeah.
is you have, say, you get half a glass full of, say, a Stella Artois or some other kind of lager beer like that.
Okay.
You have a half a glass of hard apple cider, and you add that together, and then you put a little bit of Ribena in there, and it's called a pint of diesel. And it's fantastic.
That does sound good.
It is fantastic. I will make it someday when I get my Ribena in.
Okay.
But on that alcohol-related note, on reality-bending warp travel,
Oh, you
Phil,
should have told me that you wanted me to bring some back after I came back from.
Oh, yeah, from the
Nottingham.
UK,
I could've
where-
just stopped off.
well, you know,
I have to
store.
say, like, the UPS is fast.
we bought you as a Marlboro's only the best travel. UPS
Yeah.
boxes with no air holes. Well, we will send Phil
I
out
can hold
to,
my breath for a long time.
we're going to send Phil out to other places if you have some suggestions about where you want Phil to go.
That's gonna end
then
up
let us
awful.
know,
It's
and
gonna
we
end
will
up real bad.
send him out there.
Black Star.
Black Star.
Black Star.
Send it to the Black Star.
The filthy Black Star.
But yes, let us know.
The Dark Star.
Dark Star.
and you know what? Let's send him to somewhere imaginary in the Warhammer universe too. We're in the universe's Phil. Let us know. We'll send him there
And as long as Alaska Airlines can take me there, I'll be there.
with their Dark Star.
The Dark Star.
So yeah, it's been episode 31 of Mob Rules.
Wearing my necklace full of tongues.
I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us today, listening to us talk about Flesh Terrors. Next episode is going to drop in 2 weeks. We're going to be going over the Shield of Baal campaign itself.
Balls.
Shield of Baal's campaign. Benoit.
Benoit.
I'm excited for this. This is a book I've had for a while. Ted, we've talked about doing a
Yeah.
couple games for a long time
Yeah.
based off this book. We're actually going to get a couple games in.
Yeah, but you guys would have to like each other to play games. So.
Nah. Makes it easier when I stomp them into the dirt.
Just turn the music up so we don't have to talk to each other.
And then Phil.
We'll text each other our moves.
We'll hopefully
5
get
armor
you in there
saves.
as well as finally getting some use out of your Tyranids.
Oh.
or maybe even mine.
Yeah,
One of the
mine
two.
are still taped to the paint stick.
Oh,
Ready to be
God.
primed.
A month later.
More than a month later.
Oh, Jesus.
It was the beginning of the summer. I decided I was going to paint those. Remember? They're still taped to the paint stick.
But yeah, join us in 2 weeks when we talk about Shield of Battle. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you want to add for that, just let us know at our Facebook page.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
we're judging a painting competition.
Oh, we are.
A buddy of ours in Georgia is hooking that up.
Savannah, Georgia.
So,
Yeah.
So they're posting pictures on our Facebook page. Might be an opportunity for you guys to chime in. Go
Yeah,
check it
let
out.
everyone know what you think.
Yeah.
And we definitely
John
think
and
that.
Ted will not listen to you at all, but it's cool if you want to put it in anyway.
Is
Phil
kind
said
of
what?
part of our thing.
But yeah,
Crack us
They
in
don't
what?
listen to the lay people, so
it's like you're on air telling.
yeah, they're
Let's-
ecclesiarchy.
But yeah, so yeah, thank you for hanging out. So for Mob Rules, I've been John,
I'm Ted.
I'm Phil.
and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation at facebook.com/MobRulesAK. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.